Okay, this is going to be lesson 1 for science for 7th grade. It's talking about the Bixby Bridge, which has concrete and a canyon, and it's all along Highway 1 in California. We're going to talk about the different explanations of cities and how there are buildings and roads and bridges. So how is a construction boom related to the flood in Indonesia? So if you look here, the population is increasing, and these are the floods that are happening in Indonesia. So it increased because there's sand mining activities along the river. So you have to think about, why is there sand mining activities? The two places might be related because of the sand mining. If there is sand being mined and moved to Chongqing, then it is being taken away from Indonesia. This helps Chongqing have more buildings for more people, but it does not help Indonesia because it takes away the sand. They need to stop their houses from being flooded. Okay, so we have that idea. How does each image relate to society's needs? So the first image is Chongqing, and it shows how cities need buildings. And let's look at the image again. Cities need buildings and bridges and roads. Buildings, bridges, and roads made from concrete. A second image shows how Indonesia needs houses where people can live and feel safe. They need to be able to leave their houses and have the houses not be flooded, right? You have to be able to leave your house and have it not be flooded. Okay, to mine clay, there's several different needs. So they're kind of talking about how clay and mining for different parts of the Earth's crust, and how could that disrupt things, because it's obviously causing floods in Indonesia. So they're talking about all the natural resources. So that's like food, water, materials, energy, anything that we're using as humans as an energy source. So water, oil, plants, sunlight, animals, all of that. It's important to note that these are all important examples of energy sources and natural resources. Oh, didn't want to highlight today. All right, and then it's hard to imagine how things are coming from nature, but there's just different ways of categorizing it. So it's talking about non-renewable resources like sand, coal, and oil. And then there's also renewable resources, so plants, sunlight, and wind. Renewable means like you can just use them and they don't run out. Like oil can run out, so non-renewable. Sunlight and wind, it's not going to run out. Okay, so a natural resource means it comes from the earth. Okay, water, food, minerals, air. Even talk about citrus fruits. Coal, different things, they come from the environment, and then once it changes, that's when it can become a non-renewable resource. It also come from the ecosystem. That's how all of the organisms move together. You guys probably remember that from last year. It talks about just the different systems and how it can absorb water. Okay, so we're talking about the renewable versus non-renewable, and it says, can an object tool or structure be made without the use of a natural resource? So can you make something that is something in nature? Can you make something that's not found in nature? So plastic and concrete actually do come from nature, even though it's hard to imagine. So we can decide, and I think we're going to say all objects, tools, and structures start with something that is a natural resource. They can change it to not be natural anymore, like plastic, but it does start out as a natural resource, right? It has to start from somewhere, and that has to start from somewhere that's already in the earth. Okay. Products made using sand, which is a non-renewable natural resource. Sand is not going to last forever, right? It's used in glass and phone screens. If you're looking at the other pictures, you have to be able to use sand to be able to make concrete, which has concrete makes a lot of what we already use. Okay. We talked about natural resources being part of the Earth system. Water, minerals, and air all count as those renewable resources. Ecosystems, there's wetland systems to help prevent flooding and different things. Biodiversity is the number of organisms. So it's talking about here's a amount of runoff, it soaks into the ground and stored as groundwater. Then you look at the next picture and you want to make sure that these kind of developments, that it prevents rainwater from soaking into the soil. If it doesn't soak into the soil, that's a huge problem. So you want to make sure it will soak into the soil, otherwise it starts flooding the houses. Okay. Development of this factory resulted in frequent floods in the area because it couldn't soak it up, right? So they want to make changes. So how could they brainstorm solutions? A few solutions might be to add what will make the water soak into the soil. So they could add plants to soak up the water, and they can test that by planting some plants in the nearby area and seeing if it prevents flooding. They could also dig a huge hole around the whole building. So water runs through the tunnel holes and doesn't flood the factory. They can test this by building deep holes and seeing how much water goes there. Right, so we're talking about these are solutions that might help. We gave two solutions, right? Plants that will soak up the water, or creating these tunnel holes. All right. Scientists and engineers do that. So the science is like they're asking questions like, why is this flooding? How can we make it not flood? And then the engineers come in and they take all the information the scientists gave them about what they know about what could make the flooding happen and create a solution so it will not flood anymore. Okay, we have to complete the following description here. A community was facing a problem with excessive waste from paper products. A group of, so would a scientist or an engineer develop a recycling process to solve the problem? So solving the problem is usually an engineer, okay? A group of blank then conducted an investigation to determine how much energy it took. So then the scientists are the ones doing the investigation to get additional information. Science, engineering, and technology. It's just talking about how technology is a tool that humans have created. So even like a chair is technology because it's something that humans have created. All right, scientists discover that a large termite mound has an interior temperature that's cooler than the outside. So the inside of this termite mound is cooler than the outside. Okay, what could identify one question they might ask, right? So a scientist might ask, what materials make the termite mound cooler inside than outside? All right, they're trying to find out the phenomenon. An engineer might ask how thick the walls are compared to the termites. This would help to make a thick wall solution to have a cooler building. Right? They're not so much like, what are these materials? What is this? What is that? It's not about the science of what makes it cooler in the inside. If you're an engineer, you just want to know, hey, how do I replicate this to create a technological solution for humans? Okay, so we'll stop there. We'll make a new video for exploration 2.